Ladies and gentlemen, Android has been neutered. There was a time, boys and girls, when Android was all about companies tossing the engineers into a room, loading them up with some magic powder and just going to town. Stuff. That's what Android was all about. Android was the caveman of phones. Sure, they weren't the prettiest, but that was exactly the point. You didn't buy an Android for its seamless edges. You got them because they were big phone, many feature good, yeah. Do you want a projector on your phone, a curved phone, another curved phone? Do you want your phone to be a camera? They consistently experimented and pushed boundaries and told common sense to F off. Because of that, a lot of the features that we take granted in this day first saw the debut on Android phone. Multiple cameras, all the displays, all this stuff happened because they're willing to take risks with, at the time, experimental technology. Sure, they weren't the most polished and the best executed, but we didn't care, bro, because we got a sneak peek at the future. iOS and Android used to have their own philosophies. If you wanted something pretty and simple and easy to use, which is okay, you go with an iPhone. And if you were, me want big phone now feature, yes, you got an Android. There used to be a time where Galaxy phones could track your face and control your TV. It was pure freaking functional. You went with Android to feel like you truly owned and controlled your device. Starting from the Galaxy S6, Android phones, drank pasteurized milk and lost their balls. S6 onwards, Android phones switched priorities from doing their own thing to basically trying to make knockoff iPhones. It just became a beauty contest. The phones were sealed up, all those unique features like the Aero blasters were thrown out, they stopped taking risks, and that's how we end up with edge phones going from this to this. What the? Man, do I feel much better about my glow down compared to this garbage. These companies went from mocking Apple for the closed control approach to then doing the exact same thing. And worst of all, acted like nothing changed. Hate Apple all you want, at least they had the courage to have a dedicated segment about removing the headphone jack. These Android companies just tossed it out and acting like nothing happened, because if they did bring it up, they would have been booed off the stage.
Guys, please subscribe. I want friend.
No! I feel like Android companies were just jealous of Apple's prestigious brand image and the level of control that they had, which together allowed them to get away with, blatant anti-consumer policies and charge insane prices and have people be okay with that. And they wanted to replicate it because obviously you can make a ton of money. That's why they started focusing on prettier phones. But what they didn't realize is that once people figure out that their Android company is just trying to create knockoff iPhones, especially if you don't care about custom ROMs and firmwares and all that sort of stuff, which most people don't, right? People aren't sitting around staring at the home screen icons to see how far apart they are. It's all about apps. Why not just get an iPhone and actually get the benefits of a closed-off system? Apps are better optimized. They come out first to iOS, the ecosystem, quick software updates, the status, and being more likely to get laid. That's just the facts, man. So why not just buy an iPhone? And luckily, these companies are sort of paying the price for what they did. There are plenty of reports out there which show that the rate of people switching from Android phones to iOS is much greater compared to vice versa. So, right, I hope their market share continues to decline so that these companies just get the slap in the face to realize that they will never be seen as elite and luxury and premium as Apple phones. Most people buy Android phones because they can't afford an iPhone. There is 1,000, budget cheap Android phones for every S25 Ultra. So therefore, people's perception of Android is primarily being cheap. They will never win this race. Apple will always be known as a prestigious luxury tech brand. So stop trying to compete in a genre that was essentially created and owned by Apple. Now, people will say the reason why Android phones changed course was because the people wanted premium designs and they were sick and tired of the plastic stuff, and they just preferred the iPhone way. I think that's all because we have no choice. Let's imagine that you're a hardcore Galaxy fan and you like popping out your backs and that didn't sound right and all that stuff. You're a S5 fan, and then 1 year later, here comes the Galaxy S6, which throws all of that out. But it still runs Android, which means that it's a lot more open than iOS will ever be. It's a lesser of two evils. So you will just deal with it. I mean, what else are you going to do? Stick with the S5 for the rest of your life? That's how business works most of the time. All of this stuff about consumer choice and the market's power and all that stuff doesn't really exist, especially with essential good like phones. People just put up with things because, it's better than nothing. It sucks, man, because I miss the times of quirky, let's do whatever we can mentality. And look, it wasn't all perfect, 2 years of software updates was absolutely unacceptable. acceptable. And we had it until what, 2023, which is ridiculous. But there were enough merits to make up for it. We understood the reason why Android wasn't perfect and as smooth as iOS because of how customizable and open it was. We were willing to make that trade-off. It felt great to use products where you felt that the company they just tried whatever they could, to try and make something cool. They didn't slap a new number on it and act like it was second coming of Christ. The personality of Android phones was stripped away to create, gray slabs of glass and brag about how pretty they are and how fake they can make your pictures because these companies think that your reality sucks. Please let me know in the comments down below what you're guessing. Do you think Android actually got better? Maybe that's the case, who knows? Let me know. With that being said, drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more great stuff. Thank you so much for watching till then. It really means a lot. I really appreciate everyone who drops comments and likes and subscribes. It means the world to me. It's amazing. Thank you. See you soon. God bless. Enjoy your life. Bye-bye.